from the fans, and now we bring in our analysts, Scott Grotzky and Shannon Linz, to tell us what they think about the first half of the season. And guys, the thing that everybody's wondering, did Doug Marrone live up to expectations so far?
Well, Eva, I think so far he has lived up to expectations simply because the expectations, well, they weren't very high to begin with, Shannon. This is a guy who's taken over a program who's won 10 games in the last 4 years, so it's not like he was inheriting a whole lot of talent. And what I like about what Doug Marrone has done is he's brought back the tradition and the swagger to Syracuse football that's been missing for the last 4 years.
Well, Scott, I agree with you that he has met my expectations, but I think the expectations were quite high at the beginning of this year because he was anointed, or tried to be anointed, kind of the savior of this team. So I think he's changed things around.
But how can you say he's met expectations then if he was supposed to be the savior and he's won 2 games?
He's met my expectations.
All right, guys, now things are changing a little bit with Ryan Nassib coming in for the second half in the West Virginia game. My question to you is Greg Paulus the right answer for this team right now?
Well, Eva, he's not, especially after the last 2 games. Paulus now has 10 turnovers on the season. There's only 5 quarterbacks in all of Division I football that have more than he does at this point, Scott. And I think they brought in Ryan Nassib. He seems to be a little more comfortable in the pocket. I think Greg Paulus has lost the confidence he had at the beginning of this year, and that's why Doug Marrone took him out.
And Shannon, the coaching staff just seemed more comfortable with Ryan Nassib in the pocket. You saw the playbook opened up when Ryan Nassib came in this game. They started finally calling plays downfield because Nassib has an arm to throw it down there, something that Paulus has lacked all season long. So I agree with you. I think that Ryan Nassib is the right answer going forward.
And I think he makes a lot better decisions going through his reads, then deciding whether to scramble.
Yeah, he's not a player who's going to have 5 interceptions in a game.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys, so Paulus or Nassib, what's your prediction for how SU will fare the rest of the season?
Well, Eva, I think that Syracuse has been improving pretty steadily every game with the exception of that South Florida game, and I think they have a fairly easy schedule. You have a game against Akron they should win, and then you have Rutgers, Louisville, and UConn, all games that Syracuse could win. So I think you're looking at a three more wins of 5-17.
I see Rutgers, Louisville, and UConn, but I don't think that they'll win all of those. I see Syracuse winning 4 games this year, especially because now that we've seen they don't have a solid option at quarterback. Greg Paulus, Ryan Nassib, that was one of the things that may have helped this team going down the stretch. So I think 5 is a viable option, but I'm going to go with 4.
All right, great, and we'll see if that actually comes true. Scott Grotzky and Shannon Linz, thanks, guys.